Welcome to Herencia, the heartland of good living, where you belong. A community with endless possibilities. Your path to discovering a master-planned gated community that matches your ambitions. Get yourself this must-have piece of paradise with state-of-the-art amenities, constant water supply, good security, tarmac roads, and much more. The best part, availability of buy and build financing services. Don't wait. Contact us today or visit our offices for more info. Buy and build your way at Herencia, the heartland of good living.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 1. The wicked flee when no man pursueth them, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. This also reminds me of a title we read when, like, every young man of our age, every young man, young boy or girl of our age, Form 1, Form 2, read James Hadley Chase. And one of the titles was, The Guilty Are Afraid. Everywhere, anywhere, all the time, most of the time. When a thief is mentioned, the first person to react is most likely going to be the thief. The guilty are afraid. Catholic bishops in the country have spoken. They have indicted the government. Their reactions have been fast and swift, almost ferocious. One is left wondering why the anger, why the reaction that is typical of guilt from government if government is not guilty. The leadership of the country, and indeed most of us, profess Christian faith or Islamic faith and other faith. Naturally, therefore, we would expect to take what the bishop say first as nourishment, as encouragement, and as a torch to show us the way, because we are the flock, they are the shepherd. So when therefore out of turn, those in government vilify the Catholic Church, the Catholic bishops in Kenya, for mentioning those things which everybody in this country know to be true, then you can only conclude one thing, that government is aware it is guilty as charged. But first, let me first thank those people who have responded to our appeal to advertise with us, to partner with us. Today, I want to say something about Herencia, briefly. They have land on Thika Road, exit 16, behind Mangu High School. 1,200 acres, clear titles, currently developing 100 of that. They have a single idea, that getting to live in a gated community on Thika Road, around Thika Road, is becoming too expensive. It's locking out the middle class. What they have come up with, the same concept of a gated community, beautiful, and all the trappings of what a gated community provides. But by scaling it down in terms of size, You get everything you'll get in any other gated community. And this is something I will advise you if you are looking for a home at an affordable price in a gated community. Go for it. Herencia will have the answer for you. Indeed, a casual glance at the things that Catholic bishops through KCCB, Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, a casual glance at what they are saying is common knowledge and common sense in this country. They talk about human rights, gross violation of the same. They talk about abductions and disappearances, unexplained arrests in the country. Government itself has owned up that that is there, except they deny it's not there, raising an even bigger question. If government doesn't know who is abducting Kenyans, then are Kenyans actually safe? The Catholic bishops in Kenya talk about a collapsed health system. Every Kenyan knows that to be true. The shift from NHIF to SHIFSHA is a disaster. We all know that. It has been said. People have suffered. I suspect people have died during the transition, leaving one wondering, what was the urgency in moving from NHIF if government was not ready? A much more important question would be, what was so bad about NHIF that even the name itself scares government? Why didn't they just build up on NHIF? Even change the name, but the structure, the people. You bring changes, the new structures, the new amounts in contribution, the new benefits. You didn't have to demolish the house. The Catholic bishops are saying that, and that is true. The Catholic bishops are also saying that not just because of the transition from NHIF to SHIFSHA, but even before then, hospitals are owed billions of shillings. Another fact. Why would anybody deny that? And that the faith-based hospitals are receiving the biggest hit because they are not crooked. They are straight. They are helping Kenyans. If you remove faith-based hospitals in this country, the pain will be felt. They don't even want to make profit, and yet they have been starved of their contributions. If government has made some payments in the recent past, it doesn't change the fact. The Catholic bishops in Kenya are saying the education sector is in a mess. Evidence abound. There's evidence everywhere. From the confusion about CBC, who knows what CBC is? Even those in charge of education, none of them can tell anybody what CBC is about. I am an educationist myself. I can't even explain what CBC is. So when this is pointed out, it's correct. There's a hue and cry in our public universities. Lecturers are currently on strike. The education sector is in a mess. Students are threatening to go on strike and join their lecturers. Moi University, which is the epitome of what is happening in our universities, is evident that everything is in a mess. The new funding model is locking out vulnerable children, children of the poor. They can't access education. Government itself has owned up by sometimes even suspending the application of that model, leaving the universities in more confusion. You tell universities admit students without fees as we sort out this model. Why was it necessary to bring it in a hurry? The bishops are asking. No Kenyan is happy with the new funding model. It was enacted. Ditto, the 2024 finance bill, it caused havoc. So the Catholics are not lying. They are saying things that every Kenyan knows. We all know the Gen Z disturbances in the country in the period of June this year. We know the havoc, loss of business amounting to billions of shillings, contributing to the loss of employment and jobs. Nobody's lying about that. We know loss of lives during the Gen Z revolution, the abductions, the arrests. All these things are true. But that's even not important. Every country has its own challenges. Every society has its own challenges. Some of the problems government is facing today are global in nature. The Catholics talk about a collapsed economy, the high cost of living. This is not entirely a Kenyan problem. So while it is true that there are challenges, while it is true that there are problems in this country, while it is true that the government is responsible for most of the problems we face in this country, it is equally true, one, that government is trying their best. Two, that some of these challenges are beyond government. They are global in nature. So what is the way forward? What do you do when you are government? Do you rubbish suggestions? Do you beat the messenger? Do you stone the messenger? Or do you look at the message, make the best out of it, look at the suggestions, throw these things to Kenyans. They will discuss them, they will debate them. Let government pick the best out of what people are saying and implement those things they can do. But what has government chosen to do? They have gone on attack. They have accused the bishops, and by bishops they are centering on Bishop Muheria, the very able Catholic bishop from Nyeri. And because he comes from Mount Kenya, he becomes the entire KCCB. That this is about tribalism. That when Uhuru was president, they never spoke. Hardly the truth. But what is surprising, and that's why in moments like this, my advice to government and those who think they love government is you keep quiet and let other people speak and come last. You come wiser. Because when you say it's about tribalism, Herencia is a Kikuyu, but look at the person saying it, Gladys Boss Sholei, I don't know where she comes from. Oscar Sudi Kipchumba, I don't know where he comes from. Aaron Cheriot, I don't know where he comes from. You now introduce the tribal angle more than those you are accusing. Because like you are defending your kingdom. And therefore we must guard against those. And I've always said government's weakest point perhaps is at the level of communication. And I've advised my friend Isaac Mwaura that the work of government spokesman is not to defend things, is not to spew propaganda, is not to react and overreact. The work of a government spokesman is to be a bridge between government and the people. Is to explain what government is doing and to explain things as they come up. Is to explain without unnecessarily defending that which you cannot defend. The work of a government spokesman is not to be an apologist for government. No. Because you come out very bad. That's my free advice to Isaac Mwaura and government. When the Catholics have raised, let us say, a number of issues, let's say 10 issues, you isolate one to defend. What does that mean? It simply means, by operation of logic, that all others are true. by operation of logic and common sense. If you isolate unga and speak recklessly, unknowingly, that watu wamekula unga mpaka tumbo zimefura, and we can see clearly when you umefura, telling hungry Kenyans that they have eaten a lot because the maize flour, unga, the price has gone down until they are bulging stomachs, is an insult to Kenyans, Isaac Mwaura. In any case, Isaac Mwaura, if we agree with you that a 2-kilogram packet of maize flour, unga, is going at 89, let's just agree with you. You may not be quite correct, but let's just agree with you. Isaac Mwaura, and by extension, the government of President William Samoei Ruto. What impact would that have on the farming community in this country? What impact would that have on the people of North Rift, the food basket where the president comes from? Can Isaac Mwaura, on behalf of the president, go to Moi's Bridge and call a baraza and tell people, government is working for you, unga imeteremuka shilingi 89? I don't think you'll come from there really happy. Farmers are hurting. Government itself says it's going to buy about 1 million bags only. How many millions of bags does this country produce in a year, Isaac Mwaura? If government buys one, where is the rest going? The forces of demand and supply. If government is buying at 3,500 per bag, which is hardly the cost of the inputs, that is government buying only a tiny fraction to sell a bag of maize in Kitale today. You'll be lucky to get 2,700. A majority of the middlemen are buying it at 2,500 and stocking it. 2,500! I want to advise us, Isaac Mwaura and government, please never ever again mention the cost of unga going down to 89 or even 100. Because it is at a great cost to the farmer of this country, who may choose anyway not to farm again. Tomorrow we will be beggars the way we have always been beggars. We will import the same maize, most of it meant for horses. Maize which is waiting to be tossed into the seas. It will be brought to us shamefully because we want to kill our farmers today in the name of saying we have lowered the cost of maize. And therefore, I want to advise government. There is nothing to deny. All countries across the world are struggling. All peoples globally are struggling. There's hardly any country whose people are happy because the life is sweet for them. It's a global problem. There's nothing to be ashamed of if our economy is struggling. But we can only be ashamed of denying the truth. We should be ashamed of denying the truth that Kenyans are suffering. That taking your child to university, if you are an ordinary Kenyan, is a problem. That Kenyans are dying in their homes because they cannot afford health care, and the SHA is not working so far. That abductions are still going on. Denying that is what is shameful. Denying that millions of Kenyans sometimes go to bed hungry is what is shameful. The fact that people may not have food is not shameful. What is shameful is if government, instead of trying to do something, they are spending energy defending that which you can't defend. They are denying. That is what is shameful. And therefore, government, don't bring shame upon yourself. Don't deny those things that are obvious. When the Catholics raised a bill in Senate to extend the life of the president and parliament to 7 years, don't bring technicalities, Aaron Cheriot, that the bill was defeated. We know how bills work in parliament. We know how people test waters. Catholic bishops live in this country. We know the process of lawmaking. There's nothing wrong with Catholics raising the red flag. That is a no-go zone and they are entitled. I wouldn't speak like them. I wouldn't mind a conversation around changing the life of president. I mean, the length the president can be in office. I, for one, would want 7 years, one term, not renewable. The conversation is healthy. There's nothing to deny. It's an idea that has been brought in public, Aaron Cheriot, by the Catholics. Bring yours, let me bring mine. Let's not vilify the Catholic Church for starting a conversation. Because that conversation does not start and end with the Cheryl Gay bill. No, it doesn't. It's a conversation we are going to have in this country for a long time to come until something comes out of it. Or we ignore it totally. There's nothing wrong with that. My advice to government this particular morning is stop denying. In a mental hospital, in a madhouse, in an asylum, if you are normal, you are the one who is abnormal. Kenya is becoming one huge madhouse. Kenya inakuwa kama hospitali ya wagonjwa wa akili. Sisi wote tumekuwa na ugonjwa wa akili. Kwa hivyo wachache wetu ambao wataongea ukweli wataonekana kama wao ndio wazimu. Let's guard against that. Let's try to look at our country. Let's accept our failings. Let's admit where we have gone wrong. Let's ask the church if we are government. You are men of God. Thank you for highlighting these things. Government is doing its best. Where we go wrong, please point to us. And pray for us. That we may take care of the people put in this world by God, as it is stated in the holy books. That those in power take care of my people. That is written in holy books. And we ask the Catholic Church to continue praying for the country. We ask Muslim brothers and sisters, pray for the country. Pray for the leadership of this country. And we ask government and the overzealous supporters of government, jumping quickly to defend that what you cannot defend. Ask for prayers from the church, from the mosques, from the temples, from men and women of God, that God may open the eyes of all those in leadership, that they may see the suffering of the children of God in this country. And like in Exodus, let my people go. Yes? What we should ask from the Catholic bishops is prayers to open our eyes to see the suffering of the people of this country. Prayers from the Catholic Church to give the leadership the strength and the wisdom to mitigate the suffering of the people of this country. Because God in heaven cannot be happy to see his people in this country living the sort of life they are living today.
Welcome to Herencia, the heartland of good living, where you belong. A community with endless possibilities. your path to discovering a master-planned gated community that matches your ambitions. Get yourself this must-have piece of paradise with state-of-the-art amenities, constant water supply, good security, tarmac roads, and much more. The best part, availability of buy and build financing services. Don't wait. Contact us today or visit our offices for more info. Buy and build your way at Herencia, the heartland of good living.